Hey there. I started off this video thinking I was going to make a series of videos that using art supplies that are in like a drawer that I just forget about, and which I am going to do. Today's video is on stencils, but what I ended up doing was not demoing all my stencils, but I picked out the ones that I have never used, and then I kind of sampled those on paper. And then actually I'm getting rid of, I have them right here, a few, like 5 or 6. And then there's others that I've decided I really like, so I'm going to keep. Because I think if you're kind of so-so about them, I mean, honestly, you have them, so I guess, why get rid of them? But at the same time, I think every choice that you have to make when you're making art is, and if it's just okay, then you probably aren't ever going to use it. And I'm terrible at making decisions. And so for me, this is really good. It's like, no, if I'm on the fence, goodbye. You have to go away, because I have plenty of stencils that I really do enjoy and I really do like. And I'm already not using them as it is, right? So I'm going to try to get better about using more of the things that are actually just in a drawer. I think when they're sitting out, I always think to use my paint. I always think to use my Stabilo pencil. I always think to use maybe my charcoals. And then these other things are tucked in a drawer and they're super fun. And I actually do, I show you the ones that I'm choosing, the stencils that I decided to choose. And then at the end, I was having fun just using the stencils to create some layers on paper and in different art journals that I have. So I will just, I'll show you that in fast forward, but I wanted you to think about your own things that are hidden in a drawer that you never use, and maybe go through them, sample them all, or sample some of them, especially the things that you have never used. Because believe me, I'm sure you have also bought things and then not used them. So anyway, I'm hoping to go through all my drawers and use the things that I have not used very much recently, and then do a kind of a demo on getting myself back into the groove, or deciding that, hey, maybe this isn't for me anymore. And that is okay too. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video where I decide yes or no to a series of unused stencils. Okay, for today's first using up supplies that I have not used in a while, we're going to start with stencils. So I'm going to pull that out. I have this whole drawer that's kept right underneath my desk, and you'd think it'd be the first thing I grab, but unfortunately it's not. I'm going to take you through these stencils that I have, and then we're going to make some choices, and I'm going to use those today, probably creating backgrounds in my art journal. Okay, so I have my drawer full of stencils. They actually look fairly organized, because I'm going to move my drawer out of the way. Because when I cleaned up for my video, my art studio video, not that I kind of pulled these out, but it just forced me to clean a bunch of stuff and organize. That's kind of what got me thinking is, okay, there's a lot of art supplies I have laying around that I actually do not use very often. You can see some of these are used, but like, look at this one. Like, that's never been used. And this has moderately been used. So I was like, okay, if I'm not going to use them, I really shouldn't be keeping them, right? So I thought it would be fun to kind of go through, and I have these Tim Holtz stencils, which I really like. And then I have these, I had used these for a different project years ago, these kind of random, I made these book cover cards and quotes and things. And then, I just have a lot of, I probably use the shapes more than I have something like this, which is a, botanical. Obviously, I use, some of these shapes. So anyway, the Fliss flower one, maybe it's been used once. I know I've used this flower one quite a few times. It looks pretty clean though. But I think some of these I have used with modeling paste. So that is an idea too that I may show a different time, using the stencils with modeling paste. That's a cool idea. So I don't know that this one's ever been used. So anyway, I'm just kind of showing you my stash. I know there's some really great and unique stencils out there. A lot of artists are designing stencils these days. So it's be fun to pull out your stencils if you have any. Some of these have been used a lot. Obviously, these floral ones, alphabet. This one hasn't been used at all. So anyway, it's interesting to see what I have. This circles has not been used at all. Some alphabets. I have a lot of alphabets, which, it's kind of fun to have in there. And then a large star and a large heart, which it looks like I've used. So anyway, what I'm going to do is just pull out some paint. Not going to be like a completed project, but I'm just going to use these stencils just to kind of see, like, okay, do I even like them? Do I like, I'm going to start with the ones that I have not used at all. And then I'll probably use some of these other ones. I might use the smaller ones only because on camera it might be easier to visually see that. And then you will just kind of see what happens, probably creating backgrounds or some texture on top of some pages that I already have going. So let's get started. Before we get started, I thought I'd just show you, I laid out a variety of paint colors. I opted to actually add in some bright colors, which I normally wouldn't do. But if we're working on top of a dark, I thought it might be fun to have a little bit brighter color. And then we have our darks. And I can always mute those down, and always a white. So I want to show you a couple of the brushes that are typically used in stenciling. Is obviously a stencil brush. They're very firm and they get the paint down in there. This is I'm not sure what they're calling it. I think it's called a scrubber brush, and it has the bristles are very firm, kind of like the stencil brush. For today's purposes, I'm going to use this because I like that brush better. Another thing that people use are these cosmetic makeup sponge. They dab that in there and then dab it on. I'm not going to use that or this traditional stencil brush today. I'm just going to use this scrubber. I think I'm not going to actually even worry about if my colors get mixed. I'm not going to worry about that either, because I probably will like that, how that's going to turn out. So here's what's going to happen. I don't know. I'll probably talk through some of it, but most of it I will just be experimenting and practicing. So they'll probably be sped up and there'll be some music on. And, if I have a comment or two to say, then I will certainly stop and make those comments. But then I can decide. I probably will not get through every single one of these stencils. I do have a big stack of art journals, the one I just made on a prior video. So you can see I'm going to work on top of some dark surfaces. I'm going to work on top of book paper that this has not been, some of it has not been gessoed, some of it has. I also just have, random paper, craft paper bags that I've torn into pieces, and then book paper that has been gessoed or painted on already. So I'm just going to do a lot of experimenting and see what happens, and see where I want to go with these stencils, which ones I want to keep and which ones I think I will let go of, because clearly if I'm not using them very often, I probably need to kind of reduce the amount that I have. So anyway, let's get started experimenting and testing our stencils. Okay, off camera, I made some decisions. I thought I'm going to start with the stencils I have never used. So let's just start there and see, if I even like them. And I think since this is a big space here, I'm going to start with the big stencil and set these off. Maybe I'll move these over here off to the side, and then we'll just kind of go from there. So this one, let's do a little, actually, I'm already going to start mixing because I think this would be kind of fun to have together. And it doesn't have to be super dark. So, okay, I'm just going to scrape these on. This is not a video on technique of stenciling, because this is not how you would pounce. And I'm not, really interested in that. So, but let's see what we can end up with. I'm going to try to do as many of these as we can. I kind of like how the colors are mixing, and maybe I'll grab a little bit of, just to kind of mix it up, add some variety in there. And then we'll see what we got at the end here. You wouldn't have to do this whole page. I just kind of want to start off by doing the whole thing. So, okay, let's see if I like this one or not. Well, you can see that I actually moved the stencil a little bit. This one, obviously, working one-handed on this palette, mixing doesn't really work unless, you got to have your paint mixed ahead of time, unless you're just going to leave it there and not keep going. I actually like these circles. I like circles. And honestly, I think if you just did random, for example, let's just use this blue. I think especially if you did some random ones, you wouldn't necessarily need to do, you know, you could just have some random, and then if you decided, okay, I want to put another one there, you know, you could add in what you wanted. So I do like this one. This one's a keeper. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next one. All right, this one is also kind of large, so I am going to use the larger stencil for this. This is a dark background, so let's get a lighter color here. Let's make it a little bit interesting, maybe. Okay. And I have all those colors still in my brush, so they're all getting mixed in. Kind of like that. Okay, let's see what happens. And I'm going to do it as fast as I can. Actually, maybe I don't need to do the whole, well, let's just do it all and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, what's not to like, right? It's the alphabet. You would not necessarily need to do, like I said, like the whole thing, but this is kind of fun. I like that. Now, what I would do with this, you know, the stuff on the top, I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to show you. I would take I'm trying to find something here, a sheet of paper, and I would turn that over and wipe it. You could wipe it with a brayer like this, or your hand like I just did. And you're not going to get a lot. You might not even be able to see that. But the cool thing is that you're using up that paint. You're not just, you know, leaving it on there to dry. Okay, well, since I have that paper, let's just use that. So far we got 2 keepers. Let's see. All right, here's some more circles. I'm going to do a little bit of a brown and blue mix here. Okay. And these are big, so I'm just, okay. You can see I'm kind of doing that aggressively. Yeah, I like those too. So I'm just going to, actually, maybe I will do this. And you kind of get the ghost print of that. I like this one too, so I would use this one again. Okay. Since I got another piece here, let's just use it. Okay, let's use this face here. Let's get ourselves, okay. This would be good just as a good starting point, I think, for a face. We'll see what it looks like when we pull it up. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. I probably would not keep this. Now, what you could use it for is the placement. I don't know. I feel like maybe she's looking down, you know, that's why I don't know. I don't think this is a stencil that I'm going to keep, but I think it could be a really good one as a way, and I'm just going to go over this, as a way to start drawing faces. That's another good idea. I hadn't thought of this one. I didn't actually even realize I had the stencil. So let's get all that paint off, and we'll put this in the no pile. All right, so let's bring out the next. We have a white. Wow, a pristine white. This is so unusual. We're going to do 2 different ones on here if we can. I'm already about 100% sure I'm not going to like this one. I don't know if you can see that, but let's do this one, and then we'll do that one, and we'll do them on the same page. And I think I'm going to, since we can use some of these brights down here, let's do it. Let's make this bright. I've got so many colors on my brush right now, but you know, it's kind of fun. Okay, and I'm really just going to scrub. Oh, I like that color actually. I'm just going to scrub in here. Okay, till I wreck it. All right, and I do like how that. This is really cool. So I was going to use this for the bottom, and maybe I still will, but I got to get the paint off first. Okay, wow, I like that. I really like that. Okay, so that's another keeper. So, you know, obviously I buy these for a reason, and then I you know, forget about them and don't use them. Let's see what this, I'm just going to go down this little side here and see what happens. See what this looks like. That is cute. Just not sure how I would use it is the thing, right? I mean, I guess that there's part of it is like, how would I use that? What kind of, it is cute. It could be like, you know, like wallpaper, you know, or stripes. If you did it, you know, you could just, well, I actually like that better than I thought. It's not a definite no. Let's just put that up there. Okay. So, oh, see, that left some very cool marks. Okay, so that one is actually a keeper for now. So let's see if I can find some more paper that okay, we have this old vintage book here. Turn it right to a white page. Perfect. Okay, so we only have a few more guys of these that I haven't used before. So let's use this green up, shall we? Let's mix that, make a really cool color over here. Some white in. Well, you guys, I think it's a cool color. So let's add a little bit more of that. Okay. All right, let's see what happens. This is a ruler. Some of you might think this color is extremely muddy, but I think I love it. Okay, let's see how this ruler works. Yeah, I mean, I really did, you know, like just not sure how I would use a ruler. Maybe not sure about this one. I'm going to put this in the maybe pile, and with that face. I like the idea of a ruler. I'm just not sure. I like the numbers, but then some of my alphabets have numbers on them. So it could be that I use those instead. Okay, so I got stuff on both sides of that. So let's move on to this one. I have some just kind of the ready. Let's use this is an alphabet, and this does have numbers down here. I think I might be more apt to use these type of numbers than I would a ruler numbers. I don't know. I just, yeah, for my own personal style, I guess. Okay, so hopefully this will show up because that background is light, but not too light. Okay. And, you know, obviously this isn't necessarily how you would use the stencil. You might just use part of it. In fact, I would advise that you only use part of it because then, you know, okay, hopefully you can kind of see that. I should have probably done that a little bit lighter. That's actually really cool. I like that a lot. So Tim Holtz has I just like his style. So there's no surprise that I like that. Okay, I'm going to grab some more paper. I think I have some right here. It's a pretty big stack, actually, from taking that apart in that book. Making that art journal book in the last video. Okay, that is fine. That's a keeper. Okay, and then let's just do these tiny dots right over the top of this. And we need a darker color, which we are almost out of paint here. Okay, but it's okay. All right, let's see what happens. Yeah, I think I like it. Yeah, I'm not really sure. The dots might be a little too tiny for me. I mean, you can see them. Maybe if you're working really small, they're okay. Maybe if I was a little more careful with the way I put those on there, or a little less specific. This is another one that would maybe be a maybe. So anyway, that is all the stencils that I have already, that I have not used, that I've made some decisions about. And I will, yeah, so I think that's a good way to go through and see, okay, I have these supplies. Some of them I haven't used ever. So maybe I should just go through, pick a drawer, and then, you know, kind of go through the supply and see if you even like it or not. And if you do, awesome, just keep it. But if you don't, then it's time to let it go and either give it away to another friend who makes art or donate it to a charity or, you know, whatever. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching me sample my stencils.